everyone. Welcome to Balk About It. I am Brooke Grimsley alongside co-host Polo Asensio, the Cardinals Spanish broadcaster. And Polo, I think we should rename you because we should call you Mr. Worldwide.
That's Pitbull. The 305.
Yes, Mr. And that's also you, though. That's also you, and it has nothing about being bald, but that does help. That does help.
We are 40 seconds into the show, and I already feel attacked. It's okay, Brooke.
No,
I like you
he
too.
is very successful. Who wouldn't want to be like Mr. Worldwide? And you are also Mr. Worldwide because you just got back from London. Welcome back. Welcome back to the States.
As they say in my new land, England.
I was wondering if you'd come back with a British accent.
Well, you know what I noticed it? Like the first day, like a little like ding, like a twang. Like for real, I did.
Like for you, noticed it. Like you were starting to speak like that.
Yeah, and I'm like, it was fun. Like I did it over there a couple of times.
Yeah.
But it was fun. You know, sometimes I will have to like really force myself or ask my daughter Bianca, who was there on the trip with me with us. And I'm like, what did he say? What did she say? She's like, I don't know. I'm like, I just nod. Okay. I hope we're not nodding at something naughty, as they use that word naughty quite a lot over there.
They do.
Yeah.
They use it in like a different way than we use it
They
here.
use a lot of words that we use here, and a lot of words that we are not supposed to use here. And they just said them like nothing. Like water came out of the under the London Bridge. Who, by the way, kids have been lying to us for years.
Okay.
Because the London Bridge is not falling down.
Wow.
It's there. You been to London?
I've never been.
Okay, well, don't go.
You didn't like it?
No, it was fun. It was fun. I mean, it was a lot of work, right?
Yes.
Obviously, you get there, you adjust yourself. Luckily, I was there a day earlier than the players. So when the players, the Cardinals players and the Cubs players showed up on, I believe it was Thursday morning, I was already there for 24 hours. So my brain and my body was a little bit more like adjusted to them.
You were like 50% British by that point.
Yeah, 50% British. It was delicious. The fish and chips, the places that we went were delicious. That I do recommend. The meat pie, delicious.
Okay.
And I think you know a little bit about me. Even though we're not doing the two truths and a lie, I'm adventurous. I like to try things, right? And I did try the liver pie.
Liver pie?
It's good to try with a friend because you get to eat a little bit. But if you're not a fan of liver, stay away from it.
Liver pie.
Yeah.
I have to look this up.
It's like
now.
a little pie. You know, it's like a beef pie. It's just like a chicken pot pie, but think liver. No green peas or carrots.
I've heard that liver can be very healthy for you. I don't know how healthy
look at me.
in a pie form.
I'm the image of health.
Yeah, because you're Mr. Worldwide.
Dale. So no, it was fun. It was work because it was not just a lot of fun. And then we got two games. The first one we already know what happened. The second one we already know what happened.
Yes.
And at the end, I think everybody came home happy.
Happy flight home.
Happy flight home for the Cubs. Happy flight home for the Cardinals. And we move on. So it was, I believe, it was a success. About 110,000 people for the two games.
Wow.
55 change for the first one, 54 change for the second one in a stadium that holds 60,000. The other thing that I noticed is that I'm going to say 75% of the fans were from America.
Really?
Yeah, there was not a lot of English or England fans in the stadium.
Did they promote it well over there?
Well, I don't know. I really don't know. What I do know is there was a lot of Cubs fans, and somebody said, well, there's direct flights from Chicago to London, not from St. Louis to London. Like myself, I didn't fly there with the team, but we did fly back with the team. I had to go from St. Louis back to Dallas, an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then from Dallas to Heathrow Airport in London, which was like 9 hours. So, it's a little tiring, I guess. But yeah, there was a little more Cub fans in the stands than Cardinal fans. And it was funny because I had to answer a lot of questions that I never thought I was going to.
Yeah.
So what happens if the batter chips the ball and goes backwards? Is that a point? I'm like, no, that is a strike. Oh, but isn't it a strike when you strike the ball with the stick? You mean the bat? Yeah, with the bat. I'm like, no, that's a hit. So what's a strike? Well, when you miss it, and then I said, that's a foul ball if you go backwards. Two of those, 3 strikes, you're out. It's like, oh, so 3 foul balls is an out. I'm like, no, technically it's 2 foul balls, and the third one has to be a miss, a swing and a miss. So I tried to explain people a little bit about baseball, and it was
because they're used to cricket. Cricket's big over there.
Exactly, huge. And actually, the guy who threw the first pitch on day one, it was a international cricket superstar. And we had a lot of that. We had a lot of cricket players, some soccer players, some Formula One racing drivers there. It was who's who was in there. Albert was there. Albert Pujols was there. Dexter Fowler did the first pitch with Albert game 2. A lot of the things that you didn't see. Everybody saw the game, but the stuff around the preparation, it takes a lot. It takes a lot to get that ready. One thing that I would change, if anything, the only thing, make it 3 games.
Okay.
Because if you're making that, if you're flying all the way over there, the players need to adjust. Make it 3 games. And give the players a little more time to rest, perhaps.
Yeah,
because
and get used to it.
It's one night game, and then the next game was day game, right? It was at night and then early game, and then you go home. Why not night, day, go home? That's the one thing that I would change. Other than that, congrats MLB, congrats Cardinal fans, congrats Cubs fans. I believe everybody came home very, very happy, very, very satisfied. And they're so satisfied that the Mets and the Phillies are going back next season.
I saw that. And Manfred talked about how they're going to look at other countries as well and expand that.
It's going to be interesting.
I have a game for us. So we always like to do some sort of game. We've been doing 2 truths and a lie.
Yes.
On episode 3, since you're so British now, I've decided, cheerio.
Look, I bought this for 10.
Oh my gosh, how did I not see that?
I bought this over there. 10 pounds because England has pounds. The rest of Europe has euros, but England, they have the pounds. So I bought this for 10 pounds in a little shop, and I got to take the price down because it was like 13.
You could barter?
Of course. I'm from Tijuana. We do that.
Yes. Might as well. And, by the way, I guess I should address I'm wearing
You're Hawaiian. You're Hawaiian.
Yes.
You got late today.
I got late today.
Dang.
So twice.
Lucky you.
Yeah.
Twice?
Yeah, I got late today twice.
But I only see one of them.
There's 2.
Oh,
see?
Okay.
Surprise!
Oops.
Surprise!
Oops, my bad. Sorry. Don't. What's your name? Don't laugh at us. What's your name?
Nobody. He's the man behind the camera. He's a secret.
People need to know. Mystery man in the back. He's laughing.
Maybe one day.
That's good. That's good. If he laughs, that's good.
Yes, that's how you know. So I have a game for us.
I see Megan and the other dude.
No. Okay. So you are going to try to guess as many right as possible. Okay. Starting with this one.
Okay.
Who are these people?
Kate and Philip. No, Kate and William. Philip is the one that was in jail. It wasn't in the news all the time with all that interesting stuff. So that's Kate and William.
Ding, ding, ding. Okay, you got that one right.
Okay.
So far, you're
because I got to meet them.
Yeah,
me and Chip Carey.
No, you didn't.
We had tea with them.
No, you didn't.
For real, and biscuits.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, you know who brought the biscuits? Ted Lasso.
Okay, yeah, that's how I know that this isn't true. If only. It would be a great story. If you keep the Ted Lasso part out, maybe I could see you and Chip getting tea and biscuits.
Oh, Chip got a lot of tea. Ooh.
We have a British delicacy.
Okay, so that's a pie.
Yes, it is.
And it's sardines. Sardine pie. Does that have a name?
Stargazy pie. It's a fish pie. Okay, so you don't get that one.
They do have a lot of sardines. I know that because I bought a bunch to bring back home.
Okay, now we have another meal.
English breakfast. Ham, mushroom, tomato, baked beans, sausage, toast, and eggs. I had that 2 or 3 times in our hotel, and I loved it.
So with the beans and toast,
Absolutely.
How did you feel about that?
I mean, I'm Mexican. We like beans.
But their beans, how they prepare, it looks like baked beans.
They're baked beans. They're like sweet,
beans?
and they're not even hot. They're cold.
For breakfast?
Yes, it was delicious.
Okay.
Don't knock it until you try it.
I can get behind probably all of it except for whatever that is.
Mushroom. You don't like mushroom?
Maybe like.
Are you the kind
I
of
don't
people
know.
that don't like pineapple on pizza?
I do love pineapple on pizza.
Then mushrooms on breakfast.
Next
Delicious.
one.
Okay.
This should be easy.
Fish and chips. I had that a couple of times, and it was as good as promoted or advertised. Sometimes you go into a situation thinking it's not going to be as good as they say. But the thing that I like,
These are delicious.
Yeah, no. The thing that I like about the ones, and the as you can see the picture, and I'm sure you can see it better than me now. The fish is not strips; it's the whole fillet.
Oh.
So they, at least the places that I went to, they give you the whole fillet of fish and the fries or chips, as they call it.
Yeah.
And it was really good because it wasn't greasy. Like
Okay.
sometimes here in America, I've tried it, and it's really greasy, the fish, and I
Yeah.
don't like that. This one, the one that we tried over there, it was nice. It was dry, the outside, but the inside was nice and mushy. And congrats on that one, England. You did that one right.
Next one. So you're doing pretty good so far.
It's a Royal Guard.
Did you get to see any of them?
I get to see a couple, and they just stand there. They seriously, if you have one at home, that's all they do. They just stand there, and then once in a while they go bang, 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 bang.
Did you see people try to talk to them?
The ones that we saw at this point, it was my daughter Bianca, and our good friend Katie Wu. What's up, Katie Wu? And myself. We did a lot of walking together. They were inside the palace, so we didn't get to see any of them on the streets. Like we couldn't find them because I was gonna do the hey, I'm not touching you. Yeah, I'm not touching you. See if they swipe my hand or something.
Because they won't do anything from what I've seen.
Until you touch them. If you touch them, that's when
They can smack you in the face?
Easy. I've seen it.
I like that rule. I think that should be legally allowed.
like worldwide. Hey, Mr. Worldwide, I give you this rule. If anybody touches you without you want it, you can slap them. So yes, we saw them. Sadly, the day we went there was no changing of the guards because they change, I believe, every 24, 26 hours. So this guard stays there for a whole day until the next day. Huge ceremony. People are there. And I do believe, now that I think about it and I talk about it, and because a lot of people in England, they don't sympathize with the royal family because they think they take a lot of money, blah, 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 blah. But at the same time, they bring a lot of people in.
Yeah, they do.
The people walking around Buckingham Palace. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Buckingham Palace and all that, the Parliament and all that. It's tourism, and tourism drives money, drives interest, and they're there. They're like Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
When you go to Disneyland, hey, Mickey.
It's like Disney.
Yeah, it's like
except more expensive,
they're
maybe.
Very expensive. Well, Disney's kind of expensive too.
It is.
All right.
Last one.
Ooh, last one. I was just getting into it. Ooh. I didn't see that.
It's kind of ominous looking, honestly.
That looks like liver and kidneys all together. What is it?
You give up? No guesses?
It's like sausage, like kidney sausage.
Blood pudding.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I don't know so I honestly have never seen it before. And so when I was Googling British foods, as any good journalist putting this stuff together would, I was expecting like maybe just dark actual pudding. And this is what came up. And I double checked. This is what blood pudding is. What it is, I'm not exactly sure. I don't think I would even look
I've
and
never
touch
tried it, but in Mexico, in Mexico, as people say, we call it moronga. And it's blood like chorizo pudding, and it comes from cows, bulls, and things like
Is
that.
it dark like that?
It is dark like that because it's blood. Blood usually, at least mine is really dark because I'm mean and evil and people dislike me and stuff. So yeah.
I don't think people dislike you. You're Mr. Worldwide. Who wouldn't like Mr. Worldwide?
Hey.
Who would like that? All right, so someone passed. We're gonna give you an 80%. You are 80% British now. Welcome back to the States after your trip across the pond.
Yes.
Speaking of which, getting into segment 2, we need to talk about, and you kind of alluded to this earlier, Adam Wainwright. Bad game in that London series. But in general, the offense also didn't provide much help or run support. But after that outing that he had in London, Adam Wainwright deactivated his Twitter account. So for those who are very familiar, he's very active on social media with Uncle Charlie is his Twitter handle. Usually it's like face paint of him with the American flag. All of a sudden, fans noticed that after that London series, they couldn't find his account. Some people might have been blocked, which he has admitted to in the past that he will go on a blocking spree. Others,
Block party.
Others realized he was no longer on social media. So we had Adam Wainwright on recently on 101 ESPN on the opening drive of the show that I'm on, and we asked him about it, and he said that he did deactivate his account because he was getting hundreds of messages of just people telling him to retire, kind of tearing him apart, like adding at him, and he saw a lot of those messages, and he decided to delete it. This has gotten mixed responses from people. And side note, I know that he is back on Twitter now. But it has gotten mixed responses from people because some people say, okay, well, you're making $17.5 million. I know that some of that's deferred. We're not exactly sure how much. You're making that much money. That's part of it, right? That's part of being in the public eye, is that you're going to have to deal with public scrutiny when you're not having that so great of a season. We can say that. We can say it hasn't been an ideal season for Adam Wainwright because that's just looking at what we're seeing. But where people have taken it too far, because I've seen this where people are like, you got to take him out to pasture and, get rid of him or retire. You're stealing money from the organization. Look, the Cardinals signed up for this too. They signed up for bringing him back another season. That's when I think it goes too far, when people take the personal approach. But it's opened up a bigger question of what is too much, and is it deserved for athletes to get this much attention in that way?
You know it. I know it. And anybody who has some sort of weight as a celebrity, a known public figure, more than celebrity, public figure.
You're a celebrity because you're Mr. Worldwide. I'm just there.
No, you're there and everywhere. So when we open up our Instagram or Twitter to everybody, not just fans, everybody to follow us and to get into our lives, we're welcoming you to our world, not to judge who we are, but to be part of it. And what happens, and I'm not going to talk about Adam Wainwright like directly. What happens sometimes is pretty dark, right? Like I've been messages. I get messages once in a while because you don't even speak good English, or like what are you doing, or you're such a homer, you're not things. And I'm like, okay, who is this? First of all, if I have a problem with you, most likely I will look for you.
Yeah,
right.
In person.
And or if I see you, if I have a problem with you, Brooke, I'm not gonna attack you on Twitter because I know who you are, and I'm gonna say, hey, Brooke, this, and this, and you are gonna be more thankful because you know what, this guy had the guts, had the audacity or whatever to come and tell me. I know that it's not the same for everybody, and not everybody has the direct line to a celebrity or a public figure, but when you attack, you can criticize me all you want, but when you attack me, that's where it crosses the line. I open my doors, like you said, and a lot of people, and thank you for following on Instagram and Twitter. A lot of people on Instagram, they loved what we did in England, right? The pictures, the stories. Do I love doing this? Yes. Why? Because it makes me feel like you're not here with us, talking to the fan base or anybody, my family, my mom, my sisters, my everybody, my wife, my kids. You're not there with me, or you're not here with me, but this is a little piece of something that you can experience with me being here. And that's one thing. The other thing with Adam and players that are underperforming, it's easy to say, oh, you're getting paid $17 million. You know what? And then you've heard it. I don't go to your job to yell at you. If you have a low profile job, I don't go out there to criticize you. I don't go out there to yell at you. I hope you do better. And if you get paid $10 or $10 million, that's you. You have the ability to negotiate that level of pay. And it's both ways.
And work towards getting more pay.
It's both ways. It's not just, oh, Adam is getting $50 million. You know what? He's worked enough. The Cardinals thought, okay, he is worth it, those $50 million. Let's give him that contract. You know, the same happens with Nolan, with Paul Goldschmidt, with Giovanni Gallegos, with Steven Matz, that we all know he's underperforming a little bit. And I don't hear anybody complaining about that. Why Adam Wainwright? Because he's outspoken, because he says things that sometimes
he makes himself accessible, more accessible.
And you know,
Yeah.
sometimes we don't agree with what somebody says, but that is not going to make me attack him, right?
Yes.
That is not going to make me go at his throat. And what some people did, I think it was filled with venom, filled with ill will, and at the end, I think a lot of envy.
Yes.
There's a lot of envious people out there that wish they could do that, and then when they have a chance to do it, they poop the bed.
I agree. And I've noticed two things on social media when it comes to this discussion with Adam Wainwright. One thing that I've seen is some people being rational and just saying, look, this isn't a great season. And we can say that. We can say this hasn't been a great season thus far for Adam Wainwright. But it's not just him, is the thing. Adam Wainwright isn't the only person on this team, as you mentioned some of the other names that have had their moments or are also underperformed. This is a whole team effort. Adam Wainwright with not a great start, back-to-back ones. That's not just a him thing. We've seen that multiple times this season with players underperforming. This is why they're in the position that they're in, right? Is because it's not just Adam Wainwright, it's more than one person. And so when you see on social media some of the people kind of making it seem like he should have been the savior for the group this season is almost how they're acting. I don't know where you would think that. He's not an ace. He never said he was going to be the ace this season. He's not the ace.
He's not.
And even then, he's not going to be the thing that can pull the Cardinals out from the position that they're in.
There's a lot to be done. There's a lot of baseball to be played, and we've been listening to that same song for the last three and a half months. But there is a lot of baseball to be played. You know, in the recent weeks, the Reds, all of a sudden, you know, they brought up a couple of guys that changed the face of the franchise. Mm-hmm. Perhaps something like that can be done not only here with the Cardinals, with other teams that are struggling. Look at the Padres. Look at the Mets. Those guys are spending over $250,000, whatever $million, $250 million, or more, and they're underperforming. Yes, we don't care about them because this is the Cardinals. It's Cardinals Nation. It's just a weird season anywhere you put it. It's a very, very weird season. Last time I checked, it was close to 20 games blown by the bullpen, you know, the 7th, 8th, or 9th inning. If you change that a little, this team is in first place. Mm-hmm. Obviously, that's maybe the problem that we have. A lot of ifs.
But there's also other deficiencies.
If this guy, if that guy. It's not about a game of ifs, but a game of do's.
Yeah.
And let's see what we do next to save 2023 or perhaps set up 2024.
Exactly. And that's what it seems like they're doing, just turning the page right now. And just finishing on that note with the social media, I put this out there on social media as well, just saying in regards to Adam Wainwright and how he deactivated his Twitter account at the time. The great thing about social media is for the first time really ever in history, I know that you could send letters back in the day to your favorite athletes and stuff like that.
Some people still do. I love it. I love it when people send me a letter or a card to the stadium. Doesn't it feel like more
sentimental?
I'm like, oh my God. And I can totally see somebody sitting down and writing.
It's sweet.
It's awesome.
Means more.
And just, you know, before I forget, Brooke, and when this happened, the very next day, the Sunday morning, Adam was talking to a little girl. Mm-hmm. That she was there with her family. He's high-fiving her, and I took my phone. You know what? These are cool pictures. And then I hear that he deactivated his Twitter account. I tweeted out, hey, while you are hating in the world, or while you're hating on Adam's performance, he's still being Adam. He's still doing things for others. And in words less or more. And that tweet that I thought, this is my morning tweet, it went crazy. It got thousands of views, hundreds of retweets, a lot of messages with negative comments. Oh, he's made a lot of excuses. He laid the bed. Now he has to, you know, he made the bed. Now he has to lay on it. The point of it was not me defending Adam. It was just saying, look, you can throw hate at Adam or at me, at Polo. Essentially, I'm talking about me. You can throw hate at me. It's up to me. I'm going to keep it moving forward. And that's what Adam is doing, and that's what he will do. And I know that at the end of the season, when he retires, he's going to think about this moment of, you know what, it was a lecture, or I learned from that lesson. now it's time to move on.
And it's just the final season. You look at some other greats and, not saying that he is comparable to Bob Gibson. Nobody can be Bob Gibson. But if you look at Bob Gibson's entire career, we don't talk about his performance in his final season and how he finished out with an ERA above 5. We remember Bob Gibson for everything else before that. And sometimes that's just, it is what it is, right? You're not going to have the fairy tale ending like Yachty and Albert Pujols, especially Albert Pujols and what he was able to accomplish. You're not always going to have that perfect storybook ending, and that's just the way it is. And that's why I'm saying with the social media and stuff, there are some people who I think are very rational and understand it is what it is, and this is just what we're going to get from Waino and maybe his final season. He still has plenty of time to reprove himself, and you hope for that, you cheer for that. But there's some people coming out of the woodworks who are kind of taking a victory lap around this and have been obviously waiting for this moment, and you can see the clear difference between the two on social media. You can be fair and critique somebody, but when you start making personal attacks, that's the difference. And that's what I was saying about, this is the first time ever we have access to athletes and to celebrities on social media, and he uses that as a way to connect with fans. He mentioned that as well. But the bad part is not everybody deserves that access.
And
sometimes you just have to protect your energy. Personally, if I was him, I wouldn't have gotten back on social media. If you're already off, I would just stay off. I don't even need to see that anymore.
But maybe he's trying to prove a point to the fans that
you're not going to get to me.
Appreciate him.
Yeah.
His family, his daughters, his son, his wife, his brother, and everybody else in Georgia, where he's from. It just, it's a little stamp of self-approval. Like, you know what, Adam? You're doing this for the good people. You're doing this for the good guys and girls. You're not doing this for the a-holes out there that are just looking for an opportunity to jump on you. So social media, I love using it, as you know, but sometimes it makes me think that I should if I should close it, just because sometimes I get so many messages that I read a lot of them, if not all of them, and it just it makes me laugh.
Because you just feel sorry for somebody who's in a state of mind like that where they want to be an a-hole.
And like you said, Brooke, there's people with good intentions.
Yes.
And I remember me being somebody with good intentions, sending a message to so-and-so. Maybe he'll read it. I'll send a message to somebody. And sometimes they will read it, and that made me happy.
Yeah.
Right? I'm talking, back in the day. So for those fans that send messages with good intentions and even with a constructive criticism, I take that.
Yes.
Just don't attack me personally thinking that I'm just sit there and take your punches, because I can punch back.
You can give criticism without adding the other extra words. Because one time I will say there was somebody who would send me, back when I was on TV, something over and over again. And they were like, "You stupid B word. It's not the Enterprise Center. It's
Beautiful.
just Enterprise Center." That's totally what they said. And I was like, you know what? That was a mean way of saying it, but I'm actually going to take that critique and you apply that. And it worked out. They could have left out the other
It worked out so
word.
well. You're sitting next to me.
Exactly.
So thank you for
Everything
that guy.
happens for you. I rose above the occasion.
There you go.
So another thing that I wanted to dive into with our next segment, and you kind of teased ahead to this, because the Reds do have a superstar right now. Well, should we say superstar in the making? Because it is early on, but he has been impressive. Elly De La Cruz. Cardinals have their own superstar in the making, and Jordan Walker. So my question to you is, and I'm going to let you go first on this because I want to get your thoughts. Who do you think, we're going to fast forward, we're going to hop in a time machine 10 years from now, who do you think is going to be more of the successful big name out of the NL Central?
I think when it comes down to hitting, Jordan Walker, to me, can be more productive than De La Cruz. When it comes down to defense, what is Jordan Walker? He is trying really hard to learn on the fly.
Yes.
Trying to learn as a kid is hard, but it's a lot more doable. When you get to a level of play, baseball doesn't wait for you. Baseball keeps going. The ball keeps rolling. And he is trying to learn to play the outfield in the big leagues. And we've seen it, a few plays here and there that don't go his way. So I think Jordan Walker is at a disadvantage from De La Cruz, because De La Cruz, he's a shortstop. He knows how to play that
everywhere.
position.
Yeah.
So he's somebody who knows how to play his positions.
And he has a defined role.
And Jordan Walker, he's still learning. If he gets to learn to play the outfield, somebody told me the other day, he's going to end up being a first baseman. I'm like, well, he's big. He is that big. He is that guy.
Well, he's played third base most of his career.
Yeah. So maybe first base could be a position he can come. But luckily, we have the DH now. And I'm not saying you're going to take him off the field and put him to hit all the time. But if you have to, you can. If you have to, you can do that. For that, I believe that the comparison might be a little unfair because, again, one guy is learning as he goes. And look at him.
But he's had multiple like double-digit hitting streaks at this point.
When it comes down to
these
hitting,
are two very talented.
When it comes down to hitting, I give it to my guy, Jordan Walker. When it comes down as a whole, right now, Elly, because he knows where he belongs. And Jordan's a great guy. I seriously, he's one of those guys that you cheer and you push for him. He still is learning to be a big leaguer because he is learning to play a position in the big leagues. And that's not easy. That is not easy for a young guy with a team that has expectations. If he was with a team that has no expectations, you can learn and nobody's going to say anything. But here, when you have every other week, you have a game of the week on national TV and people see what you do, people hear what you do, that could be a little too much. I know he's going to be fine. I know that he's going to raise a bob, and we're going to talk about a superstar for years to come. Again, as a whole, right now, I'm going to side with De La Cruz. As a hitter, I'm sticking with Jordan Walker because what you said, he puts the ball in play. And you are not going to be successful in the big leagues or anywhere when it comes down to baseball if you don't hit the ball.
And I think that power will be coming too.
The power is there, and he's gonna get it right.
Lifting it up.
Hey, you know what?
The launch angle that we. Oh man, that's a sore subject around here in St. Louis.
Tony Gwynn, how many home runs he hit? I think his most, and I don't know this by heart, his most was like 19 or 20 in one season. Other than that, 10, 12, 15, and one of the greatest hitters of all time, Tony Gwynn. 300, 300, 300, 300, 300, 300. Nobody was complaining about that. Why? Because he was hitting the ball, he was producing, he was doing something right. So yes, home runs are exciting. I get very, very excited to call a home run when we do the broadcast in Spanish. But do you want a solo home run or a 2 RBI single? I get 2 RBI single.
It's something. It's manufacturing runs. Yeah. I think it's interesting too, and correct me if I'm wrong on this story, but I feel like I've heard that Albert Pujols always said his intention was never to exactly go and hit a home run. It's something that came over time.
Hit the ball.
That's what he was focused on. It's just being a good hitter.
See the ball, hit the ball. That's what the coaches say. See the ball, hit the ball. Now all of a sudden, see the ball, go down, try to hit the ball, and if you strike out, it's fine because eventually you're gonna hit it and it's gonna go out. I don't think like that. I think about hit the ball, run hard, get to first base, and then let your team come and get you.
Yeah. Well, my answer, I'm going to side with you on Jordan Walker because remember, we're hopping in the time machine. We're going 10 years from now. There's going to be like flying cars, all that kind of stuff, right? 10 years by now.
Flying cars were supposed to be in 2000. Now we're in 2020, whatever.
Eventually it will be coming around. I don't see
a flying car.
Yeah. Well, so when there's cars flying, I think Jordan Walker will be the bigger name. I think Elly De La Cruz has been so exciting. There's eventually going to be somewhat of a drop-off. Everybody goes through that. We've seen Jordan Walker where he's even had like a mini slump here and there and stuff like that. I think in the long run, and I know this is going to sound crazy because of what we're seeing right now with the Cardinals organization, I think in the long run, there's going to be more opportunities for Jordan Walker to play on a bigger stage. And when I'm talking about playoffs. I'm talking about you always hope for making it to the World Series and for him to perform in that way. That's what makes somebody, in my opinion, a superstar, is how they perform in those big moments. Of course, the regular season matters getting you there, but making it to the playoffs and perform in that way, I think Jordan Walker is somebody who can really rise to the occasion in the future and become a big name for his performances there.
Somebody's having a party.
I know.
Right here.
I hear
It's Hawaiian Day at the office. Let's go.
Everybody's chilling out. Everybody's chilling out.
Either that or they were laughing at what you were saying.
Maybe. I think Jordan Walker has a huge chance to be something very special. And so does Elly De La Cruz. I mean, this makes me the NL Central, everybody kind of,
it's crazy.
People are always down on it, but I think that gives me a lot of excitement having those two superstars in the same division. Potential superstars, I should say.
And there's another one that it's just like De La Cruz, O'Neal Cruz.
Yes.
With the Pirates, who got hurt this year.
Yes.
He's supposedly he's coming back at the end of the season at some point. So we have a lot of superstars in the making in the Central Division. One thing that you touched, and it's true, every season, for the last at least, almost 20 now, everybody talks about the Cardinals as the favorites. This season, nobody talked about the Reds. Last season, nobody talked about the Reds. That was a
big surprise.
3, 4, 5 years ago, nobody was talking about the Reds. Everybody talks about the Cardinals. And when the Cardinals are doing bad, people talk about people are talking not so much about why are the Reds doing so well. They're talking about why are the Cardinals doing so bad.
Yes.
So think about that. When you are in an organization that has that target, either you rise up or you move on. Right? Some of us rise up to the occasion, and I include myself because I'm part of the Cardinals and what I do. Others, they move on or they decide to be followers. There's a saying, lead, follow, or get the hell out of my way. And that's what the Cardinals do. You lead, you follow the leaders, or move on and go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I believe that if not this season, very, very close in the future, this organization is going to be back to it.
They need to be.
Even if they finish last, let's just say, right?
Yeah.
They finished last this season. When it comes down to 2024, nobody's going to pick the Cardinals to finish last for 2024.
No.
Nobody. Even if you finish dead last this season.
Because they know they have that ability. And this is just there's a lot to point to with everything that's gone wrong this season. But this is such an outlier when you look in the grand scheme. Of course, everybody's going to be thinking, all right, this is awful. There's no way that this will continue. And I truly believe that as well.
Yeah, no, and it's happening all around baseball. This year has opened a lot of eyes in baseball.
Yes.
Look at the NL West with the Diamondbacks. We knew they had talent, but we didn't think they were going to be like 50 wins right at the halfway point.
Yeah.
We didn't think the Padres were going to be almost last in the division.
Yes.
Look at the East. We all knew we had an idea of the Braves going to be this good, but we didn't think about the Mets being at the bottom or like right there with the Marlins and right below the Phillies now. We didn't think about that, And then the East, who gave $1 for Tampa Bay? We all know they're exciting to watch. All of a sudden, they're the best team in baseball. And who's behind them? The mighty Yankees, the Boston Red Sox, the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, the Orioles. We saw them last season perform very, very well. I don't think a lot of people saw the Orioles.
There's no way. If
this.
Somebody bet on this, and there's absolutely no way, because it goes against everything that you're thinking about when it comes to spending money. And look, when you spend money, sometimes it's a crapshoot. Everybody gets that. But when you're the Mets, what they spend a lot of money on? Pitching. And pitching has been an issue for them. The Padres, what did they spend a lot of money on? Hitting. Their offense. You have superstars and Tatis Jr. and Bogarts and Machado
Soto.
And I mean, on and on. And for them to perform this way, it makes no sense. And then you have the Rays, who literally really didn't spend that much, and they're successful. Everything this season has, as you mentioned, just opened the eyes of Major League Baseball. I don't think it's going to stay that way.
We'll see.
I don't know. Maybe are you saying the Rays are the new formula for success?
Well, I'm saying,
I think the Rangers are more of what makes sense.
They spend a lot of money.
And that's where, and the right way, I think
they spend a lot of money, and they have a fantastic future Hall of Fame manager, Bruce Bochy.
Oh my God, yes.
So just those like the things. Astros, like we saw the Astros recently here in St. Louis. I looked at the lineup, and I was talking to my partner in the Spanish booth, Benjamin Molina. And you have your Altuve, you have your Bregman, you have your Abreu, who had like 5-6 home runs when they got here. Those guys, they're going to produce, right? Then you have your Tucker. And then you have a bunch of young guys. You have a Yanier Diaz, a catcher that nobody knows. You have a Machete Maldonado, a catcher that it's a good catcher, but it's a role catcher. You have 3 or 4 guys doing the lift, and then the young guys. We had so many players of them making their debuts or with 50 at-bats during the season in the middle of June. And I'm like, wow, these people know how to do it. And it just, I think it's a lot of luck has been involved with the Cardinals, but at the end of the day, not every single loss is out of luck, or not every single W is out of luck. And other teams are getting it, they're doing it, and I'm not worried about the Cardinals. Yeah, we want to win. As a fan, you want your team to win every year. It's not possible. And sometimes you have to reset, you have to think again, and rethink your philosophy.
Yes.
And this could be the season that the Cardinals change or rethink their philosophy
Redesign.
for the future.
Cardinal Way 2.0.
Why not?
I think that and also the slogan for the 2023 Major League Baseball season should be money doesn't ensure wins or chemistry.
Nothing.
None of that doesn't ensure anything. Typically, you could say you could just buy your way into stuff. Not in this situation. Okay, last but not least, to close things out, Pittsburgh. We've been talking a lot about Pittsburgh. Did you happen to see, and we'll put a picture right here above us, did you happen to see the
whatever
Nike
happened,
City Connect?
Look at me. Whatever happened to the City Connect? It went from beautiful design with the cities.
I want you to look at it.
To now doing. No, I've seen it.
You don't even want to look at it right now?
That's why I'm closing my eyes. It went from beautiful designs to connect with the city to the laziest of the lazy. And the Pittsburgh one, PGH.
Like what? Why not just
why not like
something?
Steel City or something to do with the Pirates or something to do. I mean, I know they're gonna use yellow and black and red, for the steel colors of the unions and stuff. But come on, like look at the Rockies. They did it right with the mountains. Look at the Diamondbacks, serpientes, which means snakes, and the color. I mean, I think all this kind of started. The Padres, I have mixed feelings about it because they said, our connection with Baja and the colors. I was not a fan of those. They're festive, for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I mean,
it looked so, and I'm sure maybe there's some more explanation
the Cardinals
in the details.
are doing theirs next season.
I'm kind of afraid after seeing Pittsburgh's. After seeing Pittsburgh's, I'm kind of afraid of what will be designed, because if that's, or it could go one of two ways, where you're just going to continue with very simple kind of meh designs, or you're going to be like, okay, we need to step our stuff up.
What will be your dream Cardinals City Connect?
Dream Cardinals.
Like, what would you do? Okay, Brooke. All right, Brooke. I'm
on the design team.
I'm the designer, the head designer of the Cardinals. Brooke, hey, everybody. We have Brooke Grimsley. Just graduated from Harvard.
Head designer. Oh, my God.
Give us your St. Louis Cardinals City Connect.
Okay. You put an arch on there, right?
That's you. I'm not.
I'm putting an arch on there.
Where?
Over here.
Over here?
Over here.
That sounded very not convincing.
I like it. You do an arch.
You want to put in a ravioli too?
Why not?
Oh, wow.
Ravioli. No, I'm kidding. I think an arch is needed. Maybe some throwback things if you're going to go the other way instead of so futuristic. When I looked at Pittsburgh's, I thought it was just like too like futuristic looking, where it's just like the super bland modern design that we see with things.
It's basically a replica of the 70s for them. They had the yellow jerseys with Pirates black in the front. And they've used it in the past. So this is nothing new.
Yeah.
To me.
I like the Nationals.
The Nationals
my favorite.
is nice with the little pink flowers and all that.
Cherry blossoms.
The cherry blossoms.
Yes,
Thank you.
Yes.
I like that because that's part of Washington. That's part of their city, right?
I like things where it's part of the city. I think either you go throwback or you do something in the way of an arch or something that is like an obvious nod to the city.
Like who else? The Red Sox did the colors that nobody understood, but now we know the marathon, the city. That's the color of the city. Okay, that's cool. The Dodgers was a interesting choice. They basically added Los to the Dodgers jersey, making it all blue. That was okay, I guess. But there's a few that.
What is yours? What is your design?
For St. Louis?
Yes.
I will put the arch in the hat.
Okay.
Like put the arch in the hat, the Arch City, and then add not too much color, because we know that the Cardinals are mostly like a conservative organization, so keep it very simple with the colors. But I will add. There's slangs for the city. The Lou.
I like the Lou.
The Arch City. City of the Arch. The ravioli thing it's a big
Ravioli
thing here.
bowl, boys.
Something like that. Gooey butter. I don't know.
You can't put gooey butter cake on there.
Something like gooey butter color.
Okay.
Uniform with the hey, it's a city connect. It's not a wedding.
Okay.
It's a city connect. You need to get creative, I think. So I think something like that. Like you said, include the arch somewhere in the uniform because I think you have to. And I don't know if there's any other colors in St. Louis to represent the city. Maybe the yellow of the flag. The three rivers.
That's a good idea. If you put the design of the flag in there, because that's such a cool flag, honestly.
The Fleur de Lis also, like somewhere put it. I will look into that, and I wouldn't go just with personally with PGH or WSH.
That is awful.
Good for you guys. I hope you guys like it in Pittsburgh. Personally, not my favorite. I respect the designers and anybody who did that. I just hope that whoever designs these uniforms has a connection with the city and with the uniform, and not just working with the makers,
with Nike.
Fanatics, Nike, whatever it is. So
I agree.
We're going to see them next year.
Yes.
We're going to see them next year.
All right. Hire us for your design team. It might take us a minute, and it might look like gooey butter cake, but either way, we'll come up with a design.
And it might smell like ravioli, but it's all right.
All right. That's all.
How about some barbecue bones or something?
No. Barbecue bones?
Yeah, because ribs, barbecues.
That might be like a little eerie looking, just as eerie looking as the blood pudding.
Yeah.
That's what you'd have on yours. All right. Thank you so much for another episode of Balk About It. We'll be back again soon.
Hey, Balk About It with us. What do you think? What's your option for City Connect for the Cardinals or any other city?
Come up with a design.
Let us know. Till next time.